Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today, we have a pretty fun video. We're going to be going over 10 great knives that you can get under $50. This is a video for anyone who's just barely coming into knife collecting. Get that crap off my table. Anyone who's just barely coming into knife collecting, or someone who's just looking for a beater knife to just take out and use and abuse, a knife they don't really have too much money in. I wouldn't be too concerned about damaging. So, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I think under the $50 price point, there's a lot of great options out there. This is not a top 10 list. These are just 10 knives I think are a great place for anyone to start as a collector or to get and use. All these knives are very usable as well as just kind of great collection pieces. So, first off, let's get some honorable mentions out of the way. Open L's. These are great. You get these like 10, 15, 20 bucks. Ignore the scratches on this one. Great knives. Very lightweight, very slicey, very inexpensive. You have this little bolster lock. And, I mean, these are kind of like picnic knives. They're great to have around. They're a good place to start, but they didn't quite make this list just because, I don't know. Because this is my list, and I prefer all these other things better than the Open L's. But I thought I'd mention them. So, let's go ahead and let's get started with the first knife on this list. This little guy. Oops. This is a CRKT Squid. This is a fantastic knife. The version you're looking at right here is a Blade HQ exclusive with a D2 blade, a green micarta scale, a bronzed back spacer, phosphor bronze washers. This one comes in about $35. The standard versions of these come in at about $23. Plus, they now have a flipper version. So this is a great little knife. Pretty comfy, designed by Lucas Burnley. I put this in another list as a great fifth pocket carry knife. It is a great backup knife. It's a stout little guy and pretty inexpensive. So what's not to love? That is a CRKT Squid. Next up, we have our rats. These guys start at about 25 bucks. They go to a little bit south of 40. And man, talk about a workhorse of a knife. You can get these in AUS 8 blade steel or D2. That's kind of where the price difference comes in. This is the 1 and this is the 2. And man, they're fantastic. They really are. Ergos are good. The blade is nice and slicey. And that is an action that everyone in the knife world knows of. Thumb studs are out of the path of the cutting blade. These knives, you can beat the heck out of them, and they'll just work forever. This guy here, this is not the original scale. This is my modified R2D2. But just a great EDC knife, great work knife. These are two classic knives that will never let you down. Those are the Ontario Rats Model 1 and 2. Next, the QSP Penguin. I love just about everything about this knife. The ergos are pretty good. I mean, especially for a small little knife like this. Good ergos, D2 blade steel, beautiful micarta handles. This is the denim. You can get them in a bunch of different versions and colors. And the action. Yeah, it's running on phosphor bronze or copper washers. And the action is absolutely just amazing. You have a reversible pocket clip, which attaches in a pretty unique way. It goes in right there. Very useful Warncliffe blade for utility cuts, for, just about everything EDC related. Fantastic knife. These come in, depending on where you get them, kind of between the $25 and $30 mark, somewhere in there. So, great buy. Absolutely. That's the QSP Penguin. Next up, this is the Ganzo FH41. Ganzo's a brand that I kind of tried to avoid for a while just because they had a lot of designs that were kind of copies of other designs. But lately they've been doing more and more of their own designs. And I got this knife, and I cannot deny that this is just a great knife. These cost about 27 bucks. And the ergos are amazing. You have contoured G10 scales in a bunch of different colors. And this action, this is a fantastic flipping action. This is the first knife on the list running on bearings. And this knife really does feel a lot more expensive than it is. You've got D2 blade steel, G10 handles with countersunk liners. This knife's handle actually reminds me of a knife that you will see right after this guy. But very comfortable, great looking knife, and in action, that is just stupid good. Stupid good. That is a Ganzo FH41. Why did I say 41? Anyways, Ganzo FH41. Next up, we have the CJRB feldspar. This is one of my personal favorite knives ever. I love this knife. There are two sizes, a large and a small. The large one goes for about 37 bucks in this format here, and the small one goes for about 35. Very nice knife. These are running on bearings with only a thumb stud action. And man, they fire out. Ergos are very comfortable. Contour G10 over over countersunk liners, which is why that Ganzo before reminds me of this guy a little bit. Good clip. Pivot collar here. I love pivot collars. Very smooth action. Great access to the liner. It's just, man, it's a good looking knife. Very functional blade shape. Very carry friendly. Just big fan of this knife. And you can get these in a bunch of different versions, including several dealer exclusives that are very nice. So, that is the CJRB feldspar. Beautiful knife. Here we have the Syncut Scepter. This is a knife that kind of came out of nowhere for me. These go for about 40 bucks. And this is made by who also makes Savivi, and you'll see a couple of those later on here. Great action. You can get these in a bunch of different colors of micarta and G10, reversible clip, flipper, and thumb stud deployment. Internal stop pins, which is something that I really like. Whoops. Oh well. And anyways, it's something that I really like. 9CR18 MOV blade. Pretty comfortable ergos, nice and slender. This knife really kind of came out of nowhere for me, and it's a great knife. Fantastic knife, 100%. That is the Syncut Scepter. Next, the Savivi Praxis. This is an excellent knife. These come in about $42. Great ergos, 9CR18 MOV blade steel, reversible clip, G10 handles, steel liners, good action. Just a fantastic knife. Beautiful blade, a big wide drop point, very thin behind the edge, laser thin, stupid thin behind the edge. This is a great knife. These go for about 42 bucks. And honestly, you can't go wrong with a Praxis. You really can't. This is one of the all-time greats in the knife community. The Savivi Praxis. Here we have the steel wheel Midas. This is an awesome knife. This is a really awesome knife. These go for the full size go for just about right on 50 bucks, and the smaller ones go for about the minis go for about 46 bucks. You can also put the cut jack in here. You can switch out one of those, whichever ones you like the looks of. I prefer the Midas. This is a fun knife. Definitely a great place to start. It has those internal stop pins, which I was talking about. I like. You can get these in a bunch of different colors. This is a plastic material, which I do prefer G10, but this This isn't bad. Bright green backspacer. But what do you get? You get an awesome sheep's foot, or drop point in the case of the cut jack, D2 blade. Very, very useful. Great ergos on both the Midas and the cut jack, whichever one you prefer. This is just a great, great knife. In case I haven't mentioned it before, this list isn't in order. This isn't a top 10 list. This is just a knives that I think are really great, under $50, and they're kind of ranked by price. Well, $50 and under, and they're just kind of ordered in price. But anyways, tangent. This is the Steel Will Midas. Great, great knife. Next up, this is the Spyderco Tenacious. And wow, what a great knife. One of the best things about these knives is that you can get them at Walmart. A lot of Walmarts carry these. And it puts a Spyderco design into the hands of a lot of people, which I think is great. These are running on phosphor bronze washers. Really good action. Really good action. G10, 4-way position, pocket clip, the Spidey hole. And in this spot, you can also put, the Tenacious has kind of a family. You've got like the Efficient, the Persistence. I have here the Resilience, which is a beast. Great, great knives. These do come in slightly over $50 sometimes, and it's 8CR13 MOV blade steel, which is not great. These are a little bit overpriced, but the build quality is fantastic. The action is great. The ergos are great. They have Spyderco build quality. So I think it does kind of balance out. And this is a great, great knife to get your hands on if you're just getting into the hobby and are kind of curious about Spydercos and if they're for you. And it's a great knife if you're a user, because these are hardworking knives. So that's the Spyderco Tenacious family. And the last knife on this list, you probably saw it coming. This is the Savivi Elementum. I tried to not have any duplicate brands on this list, but I mean, with Savivi, come on. I mean, I have a ton of Savivi knives. There are a bunch of Savivi knives that could make this list. The Exarch, the Dogma, the Odium, the Ortis actually probably should have been on this list. I don't own one of those right now, but I have handled one. My cousin, he's got one, and it's really nice. But the Elementum, these come in at almost exactly $50. However, those are for the D2 and G10 versions. You can get all kinds of different versions of these guys. So that's why it's last on the list, if we're going by price, because you can literally get any kind of Elementum you want. This one here costs about $63 with the wood scales. The Elementum is a timeless design, very comfortable, very useful blade. Savivi's thin grind, D2 or S35VN or Damascus in some cases. Great, great action, good clip, very slender. This is the kind of knife that you can give someone who's not a knife person, and they will carry it with them every day for the rest of their lives and love it. And I think that's the best thing about the Elementum, the very best thing. It's a fantastic knife. If you don't have one, you probably should, because they are really that good. And not much else to say. Savivi Elementum, folks. Okay, so out of all those knives there, I want to choose my top 5. Personally, in my top 5, the feldspar has got to be there. You know what? I think the Elementum has earned a place. The Penguin, love it. 2 more. Oh Jeez. Actually, I might swap out the Penguin for the, My gosh. Praxis? Yeah, the Praxis has got a spot here. Oh, geez. Now it's come down to... Actually, you know what? Sorry, Modus. You're not out. Okay, right now, the last spot, it's a battle between the Scepter and the FH41. Oh, man. You know what? I hate to do this, but we're actually going to replace the Penguin with the Scepter. And we're going to put the 41 in there. Is this a list I'm happy with? I don't know. The truth is, all the knives in this video that I showed are fantastic knives. Amazing knives. And if you've got a $50 bill that you want to spend on a knife, any one of these will be a great choice. Well, $50 and some pocket change in the case of some of these, but any of these knives are a great choice. And they will serve you well for a long time. You will enjoy them. And, I mean, frankly, with all the ones here, they look pretty classy too. So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know down below, what's your favorite sub $50 knife? Did I leave one of your knives off this list? This is another one of those, I don't like to do top 10 lists. I just like to do lists that give you some options. So this will probably be a list that will have a part 2. But for now, this is it. I've been Gideon Stuff. I'll see you in the next video.